We're continuing the conversation with the Lackawanna College Falcons all season long here at our Janelle. Outside at the Bocce Courts, beautiful night, and Coach Duda, it was a beautiful weekend. You guys got the job done against the New Jersey Warriors. Let's reflect back on some of the positives from the weekend.
Well, it was a good weekend. You know, we got to play, the game, and the Warriors were tough at first. They were up 7-0. We fumbled the ball, they scored it, and then the guys kind of took over and did a great job. I think we were just a little too deep for them. I think our having our first and second team that could really play all out all the time made a big difference. And
the always learning lesson. So let's first talk about the corrections, things that you guys worked on during the week to get ready for our next opponent, who we'll talk about in a moment.
Yeah, I think it's important to come off the bus, fast. I think sometimes, we're a talented football team, but at times we'll kind of stumble around in the first series or so, finding our way. So I think we have to kind of hit the ground running a little bit better. But great performances by some guys, as you'll see, and a lot of yards, and those yards start piling up, and then the other team has to take chances, and when they do, kind of we capitalize.
Let's talk about the running game, what you're getting there. We talked a week ago with Mr. Shaw. How did he perform over the weekend?
I think he had 160 or something like that again, and then also Finney, who you're going to meet in a second, also had, I think, 80. So we had a great running game, and Mike threw the ball real well. You'll see Mr. Green here in a second had, I think, he had 160 or 70 yards in the game as well. So we did a good job as far as that, spreading it around. But we are starting to click on offense, and of course that makes the defense better, makes people throw against you, and you get to the quarterback. I think we sacked him 9 times.
Let's talk now this week's opponent, Nassau.
Nassau goes back with us 25 years. They're a community college in Long Island, 33,000 students, big giant of a school. And they're going to come in and play 7 o'clock at Scranton High School. We can't wait for the game. They're the best opponent we've played thus far. They have the ability to beat us if they play well, and it'll be a good one.
What is it that Nassau, you mentioned all the student population, what is it about their athletes and their program there, and as you say, a long tradition against the Falcons?
They've been good for a long time. They have great defensive ends, super pass rushers. They got a quarterback that can really deal it and throw it around, also can move around a little bit too. That kind of concerns us. 34, the running back, big, strong guy. They've won. They beat Navy Prep last week, and I think they beat Hudson Valley the week before that. So they have a good football team, and it's a good challenge for us. We can't wait.
Coach, as far as being able to scout yourself a little bit, time to time, be able to look at things that you do as a coaching staff, without giving away too many trade secrets, but you got to be able to make sure that you guys are doing enough variety, whether it's offensively or defensively, as people are looking at you.
Self-scout's really important. I think Michael Bear, who's our quarterback coach, does a great job. He does a self-scout for us, so he kind of scouts us like we're the other team to get a good idea about it. It's important because if you don't do it, you fall into tendencies really, really easy to understand, and you get beat. And then special teams is the last part of it. I spent about 6 or 7 hours yesterday just looking at the special teams from the week before to make sure that those things over and over aren't something that's repetitive that you make mistakes on. So that's really, really important because nobody knows there's a kick until it's blocked.
You're always all over your D-line or your O-line, so let's go back to those situations where you're talking to your D-line, whether it's technique or the scheme you're running. Talk about where you guys are at and how you're growing each week.
We're trying to look at protections now on the defensive line. So, the first couple of weeks, you just try to get them to the right spot. Now we're looking at what the protections offer us so that we can kind of counter them. So they're starting to understand where the protections go and where the weak spots are, makes them better pass rushers. So we're getting into that next phase of it now.
Of course, going against the offensive line, you kind of get to see what those guys are about. What do you see with the progression up front? Because I know you're pretty big up front, but how about as far as you're seeing the progression as well?
We're getting bigger, and we're starting to understand things better. They tried to loop and tunnel out last week, and our guys pick them up really, really well. So they're starting to get it. And that's like a great relationship between the offensive and defensive line because our offensive line has to do a great job of picking up us. Then we're the probably hardest people to pick up that there is. So when they get into ball games, they find it slows down for them a little bit.
Health-wise, let's talk about it. And again, we don't want to get into exact
Sure.
details about guys, but overall, with so much depth at Lackawanna, you hate to see a guy get nicked up or two, but how you feeling after a couple of weeks?
We've lost 1 or 2. We lost a corner recently in practice here, and we lost the backer for a little while as well, but we're pretty healthy overall. I think, it comes and goes for us. Because we're too deep, we can kind of sustain our football program. When we lose an offensive tackle for a week or two, we can do that. So that's a luxury that we have, and that's recruiting and reputation, and those things really make a difference.
Well, big weekend coming up for the Lackawanna College Falcons with Nassau in town. Coach, great to see you. Best of luck.
Great. Thank you so much, John.
Eric Finney is with us from the Lackawanna College Falcons football program. And Eric, let's talk a little bit about getting your hands on the ball. I'm sure you want to do it as often as you could. There's just so much talent at Lackawanna. It's competition, which is great. And hopefully everybody elevates their game a little bit. So talk a little bit about trying to get as many reps as you can.
I try to get as many reps as I can in practice. Practice make perfect. So in practice, I just try to, bring energy, come get the ball as much as I can, try to cheer my team up. Reps is important, and you can't learn without reps. So, try to take as much as I can.
How about your skill set to get you into game situations and coaches say, listen, this is what you're going to do when you get in those games? What do you have?
I think I bring a lot to the table. I have quickness. I'm pretty fast. I'm pretty smart. I can read defenses. I bring a lot to the table. I can catch out the backfield. It's a lot.
How about the guys around you that you're competing with? And obviously, there's a relationship there that you got to be rooting for those guys because they're your teammates at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
You're rooting for yourself, I'm sure. So talk about that friendly competition. Hopefully brings out the best.
In practice, of course, there's a lot of competition. It's a lot of people that want the starting job, obviously, but, we know who the starters are. Competition is fun. I love it. I live for competition. It's what I do. I love football, and it's a competition sport. So.
How about being at Lackawanna College and making that the right fit for now, and then whatever that next fit is going to be? But how have you adapted to the college life so far?
College life, it was pretty easy. Lackawanna made it easy. Classes are pretty easy. Football program is phenomenal. I love being here. I love playing for Lackawanna, and I just want to win.
Coach Duda, such a leader. Talk about how he commands his team.
Coach Duda, he's a pretty good leader. Everyone listens to him, of course. That's Coach Duda. We just want to play. We all want to make Coach Duda proud of us. We want to win games for him. So, we try to do our best in the games and in practice to make him happy.
Punt return, something you do? Could be a little scary, but you got to have good vision. So talk about that vision.
Punt return is, it's not scary, but, you got to be cautious because you got to keep your head on the swivel because people coming from everywhere. But it's pretty cool. My vision is pretty, I can see, people coming from left to right, and I know when to fair catch and when not to.
How about some team bonding stuff you guys do to maybe hang out and what do you guys do for fun?
Well, in the dorms, we do a lot for fun. We play 2K. We have dance battles. We Snapchat, Instagram each other all the time. It's pretty fun. We eat together. We live in the same dorm together, so it's just us. We play football, just us. So, we're pretty close. I think we're closer than a lot of schools, or a lot of people think we are.
Big family you come from. 2 brothers, 2 sisters. Tell us a little bit about the family.
2 brothers, 2 sisters, just come from a big family. I'm the kind of the middle child, but it's, I have one older brother and just me, and then the rest are younger than me. I try to do right. I'm in college now, so just try to lead by example.
Awesome. And as far as favorite subject, American government?
I like American government. It's pretty interesting. I have a nice teacher, call her Miss SGK. It's pretty interesting. I just find it interesting.
3.0, so you're doing the job in the classroom. Of course, you're hoping to take that next step. And does it matter where that next step is? It's got to be the right fit.
Doesn't matter, really. As long as I'm playing football, as long as I get my degree. That's all that matters at the end of the day. I can play football anywhere.
All right. Barry Sanders, some of the a role model.
Yeah, Barry Sanders. I looked up to him. I used to watch YouTube videos of him all the time, learn moves, try to steal all his moves. But, Barry Sanders is one of the greats. Can't do it like him.
You get some time, you like playing basketball?
Yeah, I love basketball. Basketball, I was a 4-year starter in my high school. Basketball was pretty fun. I played point guard. It was pretty good. I miss basketball, but I love football.
Tell us about the hometown and the high school you're from and saying hi to all those people back there.
I'm from Richmond, Virginia. I went to a school in Chester, Virginia called Thomasdale High School. They just beat our rival school called Bird, which is phenomenal because it's been like 11 years. Shout out to them, Thomasdale and all those guys.
Of course, all those people back in the hometown probably rooting you on, right?
Oh yeah, they probably and I just want to thank everyone who's rooting me on.
All right, Eric. Well, we wish you best the rest of this season for the Falcons. Big weekend with Nassau in town, so go get them.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Juwan Green is with us. He's a sophomore for the Lackawanna College Falcons. And Juwan, first up, big week this week. Nassau coming to town. Very talented team, long tradition there. So what can we expect, and what have you seen on film from this team?
We can expect a very hard-fought game. You know, they're the more put-together team that we played so far this season. They're going to have a lot of competition out there, a lot of battles going on, might even a little bit of pushing and shoving. But it'll be a really good game this Saturday.
And of course, physical when you play them. It's going to be a night game too, so it'll even make it more exciting.
When you get lights.
Big lights, and of course a big rivalry with those two, Lackawanna and Nassau. Wide receiver and kick return. Talk a little bit about, how they use you as a weapon for the Falcons.
Well, last season I started as a true freshman. I just played strictly outside receiver, but now since I'm being a second year guy, I know the offense a little bit more than others do. So they moved me inside or outside, and now I play kick return because we lost Gerard Diggs. We lost Diggs, one of our best athletes we had on the team last season. So now they want me to be back there and replace him.
As far as your skills, talk about whether you catch the lights out of the ball, you're really fast, you run good routes. What are things we see when we see this guy Green running around?
Well, I get all my football skills from my father since he played at the University of Maryland. And he played strictly football and basketball, but I was more of a basketball guy just because my body frame was a lot different than his. But basketball also helps you with your footwork for football field and hand-eye coordination. And say if you want to catch the ball, or like depth perception, like when you want to shoot a jump shot or catching the ball.
You're into history and science in school. Talk about those subject areas.
Well, growing up, I liked math until I got to high school, and then it got really difficult. The teachers weren't really explaining the way I would comprehend it. So, and I just clicked with history and science because I like looking at things when I learn them. I'm more of a seer. I can't just like read something off a paper and just do it.
Gotcha, visual guy. And then your sister. Let's talk a little bit about her. She's really into the academics, huh?
Yeah, my sister, her name is Ari. She's 20. She attends WVU in the marching band. Pretty sure she got offered like a section leader spot for the clarinets in the band. So congrats to her. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, she's in the books more than I am, and we are just completely opposite. I'm more the athletic person of the family, and she just all books, smarts.
Yeah, glad she's doing great stuff. You're holding your own with a 3.2 grade point average yourself, so you're doing a nice job there. Talk about life after Lackawanna College, wherever that takes you. You're not sure where it's going to be, but you open to anything?
All options are open, no matter what school it is, big, small, medium, it don't matter. I'm there.
And what kind of school do you think in your heart you're feeling, as far as, just the right fit for you?
Well, I wasn't really that big on football growing up. I did basketball my whole high school career until my senior year. I switched it up and did football and basketball and also track. So I haven't really looked that much into what school I want to be at next, but of course me being from West Virginia is always like a go-to option, I could say, because I'm in real good contact with Coach Mark Duda. He's a recruiter for West Virginia, so if it's West Virginia, it's West Virginia. If it's not, then I'm just wherever it is next.
What can we see if we saw you on the basketball court? What kind of skill set you have?
Just athleticism. I can jump out the gym. My teammates will all vouch for me. They say that I can shoot well too. I can handle the ball. I'm just an all-around guy.
So you can throw it down pretty good.
Yeah, I can throw it down pretty good.
All right, that's what we like to hear. How about some fun you have with the guys in the dorm? What are some things that you guys do?
Well, at the beginning of each semester, we do a thing called Floor Wars. And that's when, if you're a new guy, you got to earn your stripes. And earning your stripes is you got to wrestle one of the returners. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. But then you just give them some dap, and you earn your stripes right there. We also are big in the GameCube, NFL Street. It's a throwback game. It's real fun. And that's just how we kill time.
Wow, that's awesome to hear. As far as being dedicated with the Falcons and making sure you're up for meetings or you're going to practices or classes, talk about that schedule that you have as a Falcon and making sure you're there and following through on everything you're supposed to do.
Well, yeah, now in college, your alarm clock is your best friend because you don't have mom or dad, grandma, or grandpa to come make sure you're up, make sure you got everything you need to take you to school. That's all you on your own unless you build a real strong relationship with your roommates. Because your roommates are a big help too, because they can also remind you, set their alarms for you. If you're a deep sleeper and you sleep through your alarm. Like I know, I rarely do it, but I will like just mess up a little bit and sleep through like 5 minutes of a class and hurry up and get up and run to class.
That's good. Working after what your sister's doing, she's probably running to class all the time too.
Yeah.
Coach Duda, you get to hear him once in a while, get into somebody, talk about what it's like and you know how he tries to be a coach, and I'm sure at times he's a dad, or he could be an uncle, he could be a leader. He's got a lot of qualities, and sometimes I'm sure he puts his arm around a couple guys and has to be a friend too.
Yeah, well, Coach Duda, he's a mentor to everybody, father figure to everybody. He's just a real straightforward guy because he's been places that we want to go now. He's been to Division I college. He's been drafted into the NFL. He's played his years. And that's where we're all trying to get to. So if we don't listen to him, then it's kind of pointless of us even just being here at Lackawanna.
Great point, Juwan. We wish you the best against Nassau this weekend, and great catching up with you.
Thank you.